So I'm going to talk about a few things in this video. The first thing is how to set up a PlayStation 4. In this I'll talk about the different types of ports that a PlayStation 4 has on the front and on the back. Next is talking about what kind of internet connection there is, which is there's local area network, wide area network and wireless network. Next thing I'm going to be covering is what kind of peripherals and devices you can purchase for PlayStation 4, which is cabled devices to platform, as well as wireless devices to platform. The last thing I'm going to be covering is how to install games. This is both hard copies of video games which are purchased from brick and mortar stores, as well as digital purchases and downloads of video games which are then purchased from a PlayStation store. So firstly, in order to set up a PlayStation 4, you'll need a few things. The first thing is the HDMI cable, which plugs into the HDMI port at the back of the console. You've got the power supply cable, which again supplies power to the PlayStation 4 and is usually plugged into a power outlet. You'll need PlayStation 4, and I shouldn't have to explain what that is. You need a PlayStation 4 controller. Mine is a Crystal Edition, which is why it's not black, but usually you will get a standard black DualShock 4 controller included in the box. And then you also need a TV to plug it into. So in order to show you how to actually set the PlayStation 4 up and what wires go where, I will switch over to my handheld camera. So here's PlayStation. These are the ports at the back. As you can see, you've got the power cord, power port, the HDMI port. So I'll just put the camera here so you can see what I'm doing. First I'll pull the power cord, the power cable in, which goes into the power port, which is just this one at the bottom there. There you go, you can see that one's where that one goes. It's the only port that's actually on the bottom part of the back of the console. As you can see, all the ports are usually at the top, and there's only the power one that's actually at the bottom. The next one is the HDMI cable, which is just that one right there. Just moving the camera so I can get to it proper. There you go. So basically, these are the only two cables that you will actually need at the back of the console to be able to set it up. That's the power cable there, and then we've got the HDMI cable there. So the next thing that I'm going to be discussing is what kind of networks you can get. So the first is local area network, or LAN. This is a computer network that links devices within a building or group of adjacent buildings. Although it's quite a small area, which is why it's called local, and because of this, the radius is usually no bigger than 1 linear. The next one is wide area network, and as this suggests, it's bigger than the local area network. It's a computer network in which the computers connected may be far apart, and these usually have a radius which is bigger than 1 kilometer. After this is the wireless network, and this is computer networks which are not connected by cables of any kind. The use of wireless networks usually enables enterprises to avoid the costly process of introducing cables into buildings, or as a connection between different equipment locations. So there are different advantages of these, as you can see, but that's all we really need to go into at the minute. Usually if you're only wanting your PlayStation for personal use, a lot of home internet connections and landlines are actually local area networks or wireless networks. You don't actually need an internet connection to play video games on the PlayStation 4. However, there are some features of PlayStation 4 called the PlayStation Network which you will need internet access to get access to. You will also need internet access to be able to play online with friends and download videos, apps and video games from the PlayStation Store. The next thing we're going to be talking about is the different types of peripherals that you can get for the PlayStation 4. The first set we're going to be talking about is the cabled devices for the PlayStation 4. This means that they have to be plugged in to use and during use in order to actually function properly. The first one is headsets, which is how you can listen to audio, or you can talk to friends when you're playing online, etc, etc. This is quite a bizarre one, since you can also get wireless headsets as well, but there are some cabled ones. A good wired headset is the Astro A40 or A50, although since it is a very high quality headset, it is rather expensive. However, it has high quality sound and it is connected to a Mixamp Pro TR. It's usually wired headsets will come with all the cables, so you don't really have to worry about what cables you'd need for which headsets. As each headset model and brand is usually different, so it usually has different cables that actually work with the headset. Usually the port cables are the same because the PlayStation ports are the same. However, they do change depending on how they plug into the headset itself. The Astro A40 has micro USB cable, optical cable and inline mute cable, which are all included in the box. The next peripheral then that you can get, which is a cabled one, is wheels and pedals. These are usually for driving games. The straightforward setup, they're similar to mouse and keyboards as they only require a USB connection. The straightforward setup and to connect. Usually when the PlayStation 4 is already set up, the player, you just need to insert a USB cable into the USB port, which are located on the front of the PlayStation, which I've already discussed. When you plug them in, you might want to check if they're set up. Well, they usually are, and you should go on to Devices and Device Manager, and then you can change the settings and sensitivity from there. The next one is a joystick. Again, this usually just needs a USB connection. A joystick isn't a very big peripheral, it's relatively small, and because of that, it's usually relatively straightforward to set up. Again, just need a USB connection. Just again, plug this into the USB ports which are found on the front of the PlayStation 4, and this should work straight away and work pretty well. Now, as all the other peripherals that I've spoken about are actually, they're multi-platform basically. They can be used for a few different devices. They can be used for a few different platforms. However, the specific brands that I've mentioned, especially with the headset, that depends on whether the same brand that headset actually works with different platforms. Although you can get headsets which are specific for other platforms, and as well headsets and whatnot which are only platform specific. However, this next peripheral is specifically designed for the PlayStation 4, and it's the PlayStation camera. Again, with a lot of other ones which are wired, it usually only needs a USB connection. When it's plugged in, a configuration menu will appear, which allows for you to adjust the settings to your preferences. The physical position and where the camera is actually located around the console might actually need to be adjusted so it's in a satisfactory position or location for your use. Headsets are the devices that can either be wireless or cabled. So again, these are appearing on the wireless list as well as the cabled list. But it usually depends on the headset if they're wired or cabled or whatnot. However, a lot of headsets now, a lot of modern headsets are usually wireless. Turtle Beach are high quality headsets, and they usually do a lot of wireless headsets. I haven't really seen a lot of headsets from Turtle Beach that are actually cabled, they all seem to be wireless. So if you're wanting a wireless headset, that's a good brand to check out. Another wireless device then is the controller. Obviously, since this is a controller and you actually get one with the PlayStation, you don't need to spend any extra on the controller. However, if you want more than one controller, then you do need to buy another one. It's common nowadays for gaming platforms to be wireless, which is the case with the DualShock 4, which is the PlayStation 4 controller. Firstly, in order to actually make the controller wireless, is you need to connect it to the PlayStation 4 with a USB cable again, which is plugged into the USB port found on the front of the PlayStation 4. However, when the controller is connected, it can be unplugged and then you can use it wireless. However, it does have a battery life and it doesn't actually take batteries, it needs to be charged. So in order to charge it, you just connect the cable to the USB ports on the PlayStation 4, and it would be wired then until it's fully charged, when it can then be taken off charge and be used wirelessly again. So then the other device that I've got for wireless, again it's a PlayStation specifically designed device. It's the PlayStation Move. Basically, this is the equivalent of the Wii Remote and nunchucks for the Nintendo Wii console. It only requires a mini USB cable which plugs into the PlayStation 4 as well as one of the controllers. Again, even though it is wireless, it does first need to be connected to PlayStation 4 in order to use it, which is similar to the controller. PlayStation button needs to be held down to connect the controllers to the console, and the account using the controllers needs to be selected. If the controllers are already fully charged, when you actually connect them, you can just then take them off charge again, same with the controller, and just use them wirelessly. But when they do need to be charged, they will need to be plugged in order to reach fully charged, and then again they can be taken off and used wirelessly. So here we are on the PlayStation 4 screen, and that's the game that I just put in, which is Final Fantasy Type O HD. Now here it is downloading the file, and it usually takes quite a while. It should install as well after this, so basically this is only if you want to use the network features, you know, go online, access the trophies and such like that. But as you can see at the bottom, you can start the application without actually downloading and installing. I feel like it's gonna start installing the file in a minute. Downloading the file. Oh, that was quick. Usually it does actually take a few hours, but that was a lot quicker than I was expecting. But as you can see, the game is actually now on. So then all you do obviously is just adjust all the settings to your preferred choice. It's just a brightness, you know, sorting that out. But I'm not going to bother about that at the minute. But that's basically how you install hard copies of video games. But then the next thing that I'm going to show is how to download, purchase and install digital copies, which is done on the PlayStation Store. So let's go into this. Again, this is one of the features I was talking about when I said if you want the internet, this is one of the features that you can access, but you do need the internet for it. Now, since I'm a PlayStation Plus member, there is usually free video games every month. So I'll just see if there's some of them that I can download, and if there is, I will show you how to do that. Alright, so here we go. We'll try this one, Tearaway. All you do is click on the game, which I've done, and there it is actually on the PlayStation to store all the information for it. Choosing a version. Sometimes you'll have to do this, sometimes you won't. Yeah, and obviously, for some reason, sometimes it does say choose a version, even though there's only one version, which seems a bit pointless at times, but anyway. So then all you do is just go to download, and then it will start downloading it. So it should have started downloading it now. Yep, see, added to downloads, and then literally I will show you where to find that. If you go up onto here, and you go all the way to this notifications icon there, as you can see, you've seen which ones have actually been downloaded. You can see Final Fantasy Type O is there, which is the hard copy game that I just put in. Then we go to downloads. Then you can see all the ones there is there, and the Tearaway Unfold is just here. But obviously, since these two are already downloading and updating, this one has actually been queued, so it won't actually be downloading just yet, which it's not. Well, actually it started just a little bit, but these two will probably finish before it. But then when it's done, all you want to do, it'll be on here, along this little line here. Then all you want to do is just click on it and it will play it. So we'll do Everybody's Gone to the Rapture at the minute. This is a PlayStation digital exclusive one that I actually bought a while ago. I'll basically just show you that Yep, just close that. I'll basically just show you that it's literally just the same way of launching it as you would launch the hard copy one. Alright, so here we are, and I'm actually in the game right now, just mooching around. So this is just to show that the digital copies literally will load the same as any hard copy will. You just need to go about downloading and installing them in a slightly different way, but other than that, they're basically exactly the same. All the beautiful birds and weird lights everywhere. Anyway, that's basically everything that I want to talk about in the video. I will put a link to in the description of the video to a PlayStation official user guide. So if there is anything else that you wanted to know or wanted to learn how to be able to do, or you're having any problems with any aspect of your PlayStation 4, you can find answers and solutions to those on this user guide.